Hello everyone, and welcome to this IntraTips video series, where intrapreneurs and the People's Lab for Good team share their experience and good practices to help you facilitate the integration of social and environmental goals into your business projects. Design thinking for sustainability relies on 5 main steps: understand, define, create, prototype, and test. Let's check together the last 2 steps, prototype and test. Prototype and test are iterative steps that go together. You only prototype in order to test your solution in real conditions, and you only test in order to check and improve your prototype, and so on and so forth. In concrete terms, what's a prototype? According to the Oxford Dictionary, it is, and I quote, a first or preliminary version of a device or vehicle from which other forms are developed. In our case, the prototype not only describes a physical product, but includes services, offers, functionalities, processes, etc. In short, all material or immaterial solution or projects. What form should your prototype take? It all depends on your solution, of course. But to build your prototype quickly, you will have to make do with what you have to hand. The important thing here is not aesthetics, but that the shape of your prototype allows you to use and experience the main functionalities of your service while respecting the social and environmental framework that you have set for yourself. Here are some creative techniques to build your prototype. Take some pieces of paper and pens. You can use sketchnoting as a visual note-taking technique using text, frames, symbols, structures, connectors, and simple pictograms, all hand-drawn. Here are some examples of user journeys or products made by intrapreneurs. Here's an example of an elaborate sketch note representing in one plate problems, a context. It can be key figures, examples of problems encountered, a possible solution to answer those problems, examples of functionalities. This sketch note can then be used to present your project when you don't have much time. You can also model your user journey step by step, draw a storyboard of the user journey. If it's a digital solution, you can draw a mock-up of your website or app screens and their sequence. Draw a form. It is also possible, if you prefer, to use magazines and a pair of scissors. Be creative. Remember, content must prevail, not style. Stay aware of the direct and indirect impacts of your solution. At each step, check environmental impacts, like the use of resources and energy, the production of greenhouse gases, physical and digital pollution, biodiversity, and social impacts like impacts on health, education, equality. They are inventoried on databases and dedicated websites. Here are some examples of questions you can ask yourself. What am I using in terms of energy, resources, materials? Are the materials recycled or recyclable? Are the resources sustainably produced? What am I emitting, mainly during transportation or trips? Do I pollute, produce waste? Do I have a negative impact on biodiversity? Another main area of reflection is how much your project contributes to a circular, local, and sharing economy. You can ask yourself questions like, by proceeding like this, do I use the full potential and lifespan of the products I use or manufacture? Do I contribute to inclusion, social justice, diversity, and social good? You can then test this first prototype in real conditions with your users. Depending on your solution and prototype, it can look like having your solution tested in real conditions, getting feedbacks from your user, discussing it. A successful test is a test that allowed you to correctly and finally perceive the reaction of your user. In order to achieve that, you can use the techniques we saw in the understand step during interviews. A little reminder, be empathetic and let the person get to grips with your solution. The key words of these steps are listen and observe. From your observations, you can now readjust your solution. It can mean going back to the create phase and/or refining your prototype. You can then build the secondary features, interfaces to get a more advanced prototype. Finally, it's time for a new test with your user, and so on and so forth, until your prototype fully answers your initial problem. We can never stress it enough. The faster you test and fail, the faster you can try again and improve your solution.